players isolated one-on-one out in the perimeter game, and it's been the key. When we played Utah, we had a 3rd and 4 situation, and it was the first tackle I think we had missed in space in quite a few games, and it was like, oh my God, you missed a tackle, and all of a sudden, instead of having the guy behind the line of scrimmage and then going 4th and 6 or 7, next thing you know, the guy's running up the sideline for a first down. So those things, more than anything, you talk about this pace of play, those things there are more disturbing than anything, because it gets everybody, the crowd excited, and as a player, you can't help but feel that type of thing, and it's always important with these teams. What becomes critical with these teams is the fact that they have a lot of good athletes that have good speed that they utilize in space, and so it's going to be not just one guy, it's going to be every guy that touches the ball.
Who would you say is the scariest guy that you?
Well, I mean, I'd go first and foremost with Mariota, because of the fact that he has the ball in his hands on every snap. And then from there, I mean, take your pick. Take your pick with Barner, or take your pick with DeAnthony Thomas. I mean, we all know that he has, world-class track speed and things of that nature. And we're not going to have a lot of people on the field that are going to have that type of speed. So you got to have great angles. You got to have good leverage on the ball, with a guy like that, and you got to get 11 guys to the ball on every play.
I know that you guys tried Hundley when you were down at UCLA. Is that the kind of thing that you got to do with Mariota too?
Oh, no, we'll probably just rush everybody and go right by him and just see if we can have luck at stopping him.
Looking at the Stanford tape, they did something right. I mean, holding them to 14 points. Did that kind of create a blueprint of sorts where you can say you saw something new that a team tried against them?
Well, with Stanford, they played very responsible. They're one of the best defenses in the country, statistically at least, and they did a tremendous job at, tackling in those situations, those one-on-one situations. They have a scheme, we have a scheme. We can't wholesale what we do, obviously. And I think they also have, they have really a good, solid nucleus of athletes, in that position that know what the heck they're doing. They matched up really well physically with them up front and on the perimeter. And, you take note of what they did, on the perimeter and how they covered down, the type of coverages they played and things like that in certain situations. So it didn't hurt, watching them play and the things that they did. And, if there's something that we can use and adapt with what we do, then, I mean, that's tremendous. You're always looking for a better way to do things.
How about having guys in the middle like Doctor and, Alexander, DJ? Their speed can kind of maintain with the Ducks, right? Yeah, I mean,
again, speed and then being able to utilize it. You've got to be confident with what you're doing, what you see, and then they can. I mean, they're faster players. They're faster players, but you don't want to be fast in the wrong direction. So we've got to be correct as far as our keys and how to react.
When in tackling is something that Coach Bray and obviously you talk about is important. I mean, has there been a game that you guys have showed your guys where you guys tackled well? Do you guys have to kind of duplicate that performance against the Ducks?
Well, when you look at the other spread teams that we've played, Arizona State, Utah, UCLA, I mean, they were all teams that try to isolate their skill guys out in space, and we can go back to those games and hey, you've done this. It's just a matter of doing it. We've had a couple of games here lately, which is the wrong thing to do. In Cal game, we had a couple, 3 or 4 plays where, we did the old flyby. Our hips weren't down. We weren't in a position to just put our chest on and wrap a guy up. I mean, it's a constant mindset, a constant battle to do that, no matter who you're playing.
Can you compare the confidence? I mean, you watch the defense in practice; they're always loose, and they're always having a good time, and they always have.
Were they?
They seem to have a ton of confidence. I mean, can you compare the confidence level going into this Civil War compared to last year? I mean, it's completely different. It has to be, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe over the last couple of years, because of the fact that we're winning. I think winning breeds that confidence, and a lot of players in the defensive group have had success. So I think they expect to have success, but at the same time, they've got to always work at it, and that's critical. You know, again, you've got to be in the right place at the right time from a standpoint of that mindset, and be on that right edge, so that you know, it's a quiet confidence, and you know, let's do this. You know, you can't play tight. You obviously can't play flat. You know, because it's an emotional game, it's a physical game, and you just need to be in the right place at the right time. When I say right place, I don't mean environmentally. I mean, you know, their mental status.
Coach Kelly calls all of his opponents faceless opponents. Coach Riley says embrace the rivalry. So you've been around Coach Riley, been around this rivalry for a while. So what say you about it?
Well, I mean, I think it's absolutely, you know, a great rivalry, because the fact that the fans, it's a unique situation. You know, we're 40 miles apart. You've got families that either went to Oregon State or went to the University of Oregon, just by the way that the state is. People have gone to the state institutions here, and I think they create the fervor. You know, I mean, you have people that call you, people that are close that are to this program, that are out there in the community or live up in Portland, that, I mean, they get upset, you know, around the bubbler at work, you know, and they're ready to, you know, square off with one another. And I think more than anything, I think they cause that fervor, and I mean, it's great, you know, from that standpoint, that it's such a strong rivalry. I've worked at SC, you know, I only was there for the 1 year, and of course, SC and UCLA, they're crosstown rivals. Just obviously not being there, but you know, just listening or reading some of the things in the paper, it sounded like UCLA tried to, you know, call the big dog out, and they did, and they beat them. But I don't recall that type of, you know, we're going to get after you type of thing, just because there's just that much more to do in a place like that. People have more things that they're interested, you know. Where here there's just so many people that have gone to Oregon, gone to Oregon State. There's inter-university marriages. You know, you see kids show up, they're painted, one's half of them is green, the other one's, you know, orange, and it's just neat, you know, and it just makes for a great environment come game day.
Given your experience with the Civil War, though, have you, as an affection for it, grown in you in a way, or how do you feel about, I mean, what does it mean to you at this point, given your experience?
Well, it just means that I dislike the team that we play, you know, that much more. At the same time, obviously very respectful of what they've accomplished over the years. You know, having been here in 97 and 98, and you know, both teams, you know, different places at that time. 97, it was just a shellacking down there. We were a shell of a football team, and then to come back in here, and you know, all of a sudden, you know, I didn't even know what happened really in 98. You know, we win, and the next thing you know, we come in on Sunday, and the turf was gone, the goalposts were gone, and I was like, what is going on around this place? And then you look back and you see how, as we were talking about, how serious people are about this thing, you know. Like I said, the outside people, and what we did by beating them. I say, wow, what hornet's nest did we shake loose out of the tree? And then coming back in 2003, and you know, going back and forth. Unfortunately, you know, we haven't kept our end of the bargain up over the last 3 years, and you know, the jinx was beating them, having the home team, you know, win, and that was us down there. And then since then we haven't won, but it means a lot. It means a lot to the state. It's a great show. It's a great environment, and you want to be a part of it. Of course, you want to come out on top and win, so that you have the bragging rights in the state, and make the people around you that support the program all year feel good. And not only that, the most important thing is get your team another win.
You mentioned the 2007, or the last time you guys won. It's hard to compare teams as the personnel has changed so drastically, but elements of that team that do you see similarities between then and now?
You know, I don't think anything ever stays the same. We were a good team. We were a confident team. You spoke about confidence. And I think we've got a good group of players right now that are playing with confidence. And you know, we'll see. You know, we'll find out sometime around 3:30 or 4 on Saturday.
You talked about the Oregon's tempo. You doing anything in practice to kind of mimic that or get ready for that?
Well, you know, I think I said this earlier in the year. What's great now is that we've got teams in our own conference. You know, the Arizona, Arizona State, UCLA, and Utah that are all playing, you know, up tempo and you know, going with no huddle. We haven't huddled, you know, as a group all year, and when we do, it's kind of strange. It's almost like a TV timeout. So the familiarity, the repetitions that, you know, playing that way, it's not just that, hey, that one game a year. Now these guys, you know, are going no huddle and they're up tempo, but you know, so no, I mean, we're doing the same things that we did during the course of the year, and we kept that type of style of practice and play up as we went along, just because that's what we've been doing, and because I don't think you go in and out of that phase. It's either the way you play or it's something new, and right now it's not new, which is a good thing.
Do you feel like those other schools started playing the spread because Oregon was so effective with it?
Oh, I think you know, the evolution of football, probably the evolution of most anything in life. You know, people mimic what has been successful. But at the same time, there were no huddle teams. You know, when I was at Cal State Northridge, I remember, you know, I don't know what year it was, but it was sometime in the 80s, Northern Arizona. They went no huddle and was like, oh, God, what are we going to do? And I'm not ashamed of saying we just flat out faked injuries. It was unethical, but that was the best thing to do, you know. And I remember the opposing coach just going absolutely crazy because, you know, after one play when the linebacker was down, you know, he came back in and the coach, you know, was screaming bloody murder on it. But, you know, at that time, you didn't have much of an answer to it. So, you know, people have been doing